Did you know that Elon Musk is the proud father of 6 amazing sons? Yes, the revolutionary mind behind companies such as SpaceX and Tesla is as much a dad as any father out there, which makes you wonder what kind of lifestyle do as privileged kids live. Surely they must be showered with all sorts of lavish gifts and comforts beyond their wildest dreams. After all, they'll be inheriting the fortune of the man who might just be the world's first trillionaire. Well, after watching this video you might be surprised by the type of father that Elon Musk is, because as it turns out he has a very unorthodox style of parenting. And even for a billionaire it's pretty unusual. Elon's big family becoming the world's richest man would definitely put all of Elon's sons on the Forbes top 100 list, even if they were to split the fortune amongst themselves twice. But that's because Elon Musk isn't your average rich guy. He works as if he's still living paycheck to paycheck and puts in 70+ hour work shifts every single week. So raising 6 sons doesn't come easy, especially for someone who has so many duties and obligations. He has to run multiple companies, conduct meetings with influential people from all over the world, and ensure that humanity's existential crisis as well as its potential extinction are averted. That's a whole lot of weight on one man's shoulders. So how does he balance fatherhood and being, well, humanity's savior? First of all, out of his 6 sons, only one of them is not a teenager, so Elon's pretty much out of the woods in terms of spending time with the kids. Like most adolescent boys their age, they probably don't want to be spending every waking second of the day with their father. But then again, not everyone's father sends rockets out to space. His first sons, Griffin and Xavier, are twins born in 2004 through in vitro fertilization. His second sons, Kai, Saxon and Damien, are triplets that were born in 2006 also via in vitro fertilization. And finally we have the newest addition to the family, Asha 12, who was born on May 4, 2020 from Musk's current girlfriend and Canadian singer Grimes. Sadly, Elon's first son, Nevada Alexander Musk, passed away tragically from SIDS in 2002. The boy was only 7 months old, and the tragedy was so devastating to Elon that he prefers not to talk about it. In fact, on a number of occasions Elon has jokingly said that he would rather stick a fork in his hand than open up about his personal life. After a messy divorce, Elon split custody with his first wife Justine Wilson over the 5 sons they share together. According to Justine, all the affairs regarding her and the children are handled via Elon's personal assistant. Elon rarely communicates with Justine in person, but over the years the two have managed to make their custody sharing work for the sake of their kids' nicknames. Because of his busy schedule and of course growing his enormous fortune for his sons, Elon rarely has the time to do what most fathers would do with their sons over the weekend. We're talking cookouts, picnics, or even watching the game with the boys. But that doesn't make Elon a bad father. If anything, he's admitted on several occasions that his one true love is his kids, and that's what he's actually nicknamed them, his true love. In fact, Elon spends every minute of his non-work waking hours bonding with his boys. The kids are also fortunate enough to have a wealthy father that can afford to take them anywhere around the world, which means that they get to travel to some of the most exotic places, all while their dad holds important discussions about power and renewable energy with key influential figures on the planet. Whenever he's held up at work, Elon makes sure to fly his sons down to the Tesla factory in Fremont, California, so that they can spend some time with him. And every year, the family also embarks on a camping trip to spend some quality time together, to get away from the media and to also give Elon that much needed break as he recharges after an exhaustive work schedule. Education, like most children from a wealthy family with an enormous fortune to look forward to, Elon Musk's sons receive homeschooling, but it's not your average type of homeschooling. From an early age they're enrolled in their father's own school, the Ad Astra, which he built exclusively for them. Why? Because he felt there was no reason to expose his sons to the current and mediocre school curriculum, especially with all the substandard education being offered in many of the public and even private schools around. Musk even said students have different abilities at different times. It makes more sense to cater the education to match their aptitudes and abilities. He felt that public schools were too outdated in their educational approach. They adopt one syllabus that's rinsed repetitively for years and then adopt another so-called new one but with only a few minor changes made to the previous curriculum. At Elon's school his children aren't placed in grades, instead he's hired some of the best teachers in the world to educate the sons. Based on their interests, aptitudes, and abilities, if they're good at a particular subject, then the teacher's aim is to nurture and develop it. The school also teaches them to focus their energies on problem solving and not relying on other people's tools and inventions. To find a solution, his sons will often be given a series of electrical components to take apart. Once they've done so, they'll be given each individual component to study and figure out how it plays a vital role in running the entire device. It's pretty obvious that Elon is teaching his sons to be leaders, not followers. He wants them to grow up in an environment where they can flourish and become the best versions of themselves rather than being slaves to the system, life, and discipline. One thing that Musk has admitted that really bothers him about his sons is that they haven't suffered at an early age like he did, which in retrospect he believes helped mold and shape him into the man he is today. He feels like suffering gave him that extra gear of strength and will to excel in life. Schooling in South Africa, Musk was the victim of systemic bullying, where he would occasionally get punched in the face. If there was no blood, he would wake up, shake it off, and pretend everything was fine. As for his sons, they're growing up with a whole set of experiences that are quite luxurious and unusual for most kids their age, but they probably won't realize until they're well into their 20s. For example, he recalls taking them to the Monaco Grand Prix, where they were hanging out with the Prince and Princess of Monaco. What really surprised him was that they seemed quite indifferent about it, like all this is all normal. But in reality it isn't, because let's be honest, most children wouldn't even dream of the opportunity of socializing with Europe's elite society. But as much as Elon is a loving father, he's also very strict. One rule he's stamped in his household is that his sons have to read more books than the number of video games they play. And even when they're playing video games, they're not allowed to play dumb ones. For example, one time Elon found them playing a video game where the only objective of the game was to tap on a cookie. He was so furious about it he made them delete the cookie game right there. And then he had them download another game where the objective of the game was to measure the flight path of a bird. Elon even joked at least there was some physics involved. How will his son shape out? Unlike most children hailing from privileged backgrounds, Elon's sons seem to be well grounded, with an ever-present father figure that's molding them into the best version of themselves. Elon is tender yet assertive. He ensures that they get the very best of what the world has to offer, but it shouldn't get to their heads, especially because they'll be inheriting a fortune that's well into the realm of billions of dollars. We have yet to hear one of Elon's sons caught misbehaving at a house party or engaging in risky behavior, but then again they are young and have only just begun to experience the freedom that comes with pre-adulthood. On the bright side, Elon seems to be guiding them towards a path of succession, where they'll hopefully take over from where he leaves off. With his guidance and nurturing, Elon's sons have a bright future. We could potentially be looking at the next billionaire CEOs of Tesla, SpaceX, and the Boring Tunnel. But we'll let you call it. Do you think all of Elon's sons will transition into the world of tech? Or there could be one of them that's blessed with an artistic gift, which he'll gradually grow into? After all, Elon's sister Tosca Musk is a filmmaker. Perhaps one of his sons could be the next Martin Scorsese. Let us know what you think.